Hi, my name is Cheryl Beck, and I'm going to be doing my informative speech on the importance of RTI in the classroom. If you're a parent of a school-age child, more than likely you've heard the term RTI from your child's teacher, but you probably do not have a good grasp on what it is or how it directly affects your child. Today I'm going to give you a concise picture of the way RTI is designed to work and clear up any misconceptions you may have about the program. My points are going to be explaining exactly what RTI encompasses and why assessments are used in evaluating the placement of students into the appropriate tiers. Response to intervention, or RTI, is a three-tiered approach to the early intervention and identification of students with learning needs. It's not a roadway to placing sub-performing students into a special education program. In an RTI setting, research-based criteria are applied through academic interventions to place students in the appropriate challenge groups. Struggling learners are provided with interventions at increased levels of intensity to accelerate their rate of learning. And these services may be provided by a variety of personnel, including the general education teachers, special education teachers, or interventionalists. The progress is closely monitored to assess both the learning rate and the level of performance of individual students. And educational decisions about the intensity and duration of interventions are based on individual student response to instruction. All students are placed within the Tier 1 group. Every student there is in a Tier 1. This instruction goes on in the general classroom, and about 80 to 90% of all students perform well with this amount of instruction. Tier 2 provides intervention of moderate intensity that supplements the Tier 1 strategies, and are provided for a group of 3 to 6 students, a small group setting, in addition to the Tier 1. And about 5 to 10% students need help in this Tier 2 grouping. Tier 3 provides intense interventions for groups of 1 to 3, and usually a 1 to 5% of your classroom students will need intervention at this level. This instruction is provided outside of the general classroom, and it is administered by an RTI interventionist. Now that we've defined what RTI is, let's look at why the assessment process is necessary for placement of students in the correct tier for optimal learning. The RTI process begins with high quality instruction and universal screening of all children in the general education classroom. Universal screening and progress monitoring provide information about a student's learning rate and level of achievement, both individually and in comparison with their peer group. Universal screenings are timed fluency and comprehension tests given to uncover possible weaknesses in individual students. These data are then used when determining which student needs closer monitoring or in intervention. Universal screening data help pinpoint the high priority areas of concern. Screening provides data that will answer the fundamental questions such as what instruction strategy should be kept and what needs to be dropped or updated, which students are in danger of falling through the cracks if we do not intervene quickly. And these screeners accurately depict the weaknesses of each student individually and point to the type of support needed. Typically, the universal screeners are administered by the core classroom teacher. This helps the student stay calm during the testing because they're familiar with their teacher. The classroom teacher then collaborates with the RTI instructor about proceeding with more intensive testing to gather more required data for the tier placement. And in conclusion, my points to you were explaining what RTI encompasses and why assessments are using in evaluating the placement of student into the appropriate tiers. My thesis was to give you a concise picture of the way RTI is designed to work and to clear up any misconceptions you may have about the program. And in closing, RTI models were initially formulated to address concerns that some students were being misidentified as learning disabled, when in actuality they were failing to learn because of the pace or the style of instruction did not match their learning needs. With the appropriate processes in place, RTI can help schools identify students at risk for poor learning outcomes, monitor their progress, and provide evidence-based interventions early on when students first exhibit signs of learning problems. The nature and intensity of such interventions can be continually adjusted depending on each student's responsiveness. Thank you.